All right, so now let's look at combining stretches and shifts. So we're given a function f of x, right, in this first graph, and then there are two more functions graphed, which are transformations of this function f. And we want to write a formula for each one in terms of f. So let's take a look at this first one. Now, really, we can just compare points. You can see it's just sort of shrunk down, and then it also looks like it's shifted to the right. So let's see if we can figure out what happened here. So we definitely have a vertical compression, right? Definitely have a vertical compression. And so you could compare this endpoint right here, which was at -6.8, and now it's at 4. It's at -3.4, but it's, the y value is at 4. So it's kind of looking like it's a vertical compression by a factor of a half. Now 0 is still 0, which we'd expect, right? These two points seem to correspond to each other. This little peak here was at 4, and now it's at 2. And then it looks like our asymptote down here was at 2 over in the original function, and now it's at 1. So what I would say is this is a vertical compression. I'll say a vertical comp. By a factor of 1/2. 1/2. Okay, now I'm going to say by 1/2, but what that means when I'm talking about compressions or stretches, if I say by 1/2, it means it's a factor of 1/2. I'm multiplying the original function by a factor of 1/2. Sometimes it just gets a little long to write out, vertical compression by a factor of 1/2. But that's when we're talking about vertical compressions, we're always talking about a multiplier. All right, and then we're shifting it over as well. It was at -2, and now it's at 1. So it looks like it was shifted 3 units to the right, right? 1, 2, 3. So it's a horizontal shift, right by 1, right by 1 unit. Okay, I'm just going to say right by 1. Left and right shifts are horizontal shifts. So a horizontal shift, right, that's going to affect the h. We're shifting it to the right. Whoops. All right, hang on. We're shifting it to the right. So it looks like the function is going to be an f of x minus 1, right, because that's I'm going to shift it to the right, and then we're multiplying it by a half. So I would say if I'm going to write a formula for this transformation, it would be 1/2 f of x minus 1. Right? We have a shift to the right by 1 and a vertical compression. All right, now this next one it looks upside down, right? It's instead of going down, up, and then down, it's going up, down, and then up, right? And it just looks like it's flipped upside down, which seems to imply a reflection, right? Now a reflection, but it's also being shifted, right? So like if I took this and if I wanted to flip this original f of x upside down and reflect it across, I would reflect it across the x-axis, so it would look something, like um, like this. Well, like this. If I reflected it. So that's kind of the shape that we've got going on. It's not quite right because I just didn't draw it very accurately. But to turn a function upside down, we have to take the negative of it, so we reflect it across the x-axis. But then it's also shifted up from that, right? If we reflected f of x across the x-axis, then this -2 would still be at 0, but this -2 is way up here at 8. So it looks like it's reflected across the x-axis and then shifted up by 8. So let me write that down. So it's reflected across the x-axis. That shifts it, or that turns it upside down. and then it is shifted up by 8, right? Because this is a kind of a sketch, very rough sketch of, oh my, making it even rougher. This is a very rough sketch of what, you know, the reflection would look like. So this point, you can kind of focus in on this point of -2, 0. It ends up here at -2, 8. So so it's being shifted up by 8. All right, so how do we write the formula for this transformation? So so we got to reflect it across the x-axis, right? So we have negative f of x, right? That reflects it across the x-axis. So we have negative f of x. That will reflect it across the x-axis, and then we just have to add 8 to it. And that will be the transformation, the formula for that transformation. All right, I will meet you in the next video.